What's up guys, this is Covet the Ranting Raven, and I'm here to bring you a topic about a Dragon Ball Z movie that a lot of people seem to hate. In fact, most people would actually go as far as to call this the worst Dragon Ball Z movie, period. And if you have any idea what I'm talking about, that is the movie known as Bio Broly. Now, I find it hard to agree with this statement due to the fact that I think this movie isn't really that bad, and it's actually better than Broly the Second Coming. Now, allow me to explain before the line of over 1,000 pedestrians with assault rifles starts piling up at my front door. I would like to say, first and foremost, that the Bio Broly movie had a better story than The Second Coming. Now, I'm going to try my best to remember as much as I can, because it's been a long time. So if I miss anything, please don't try to shoot me. Now, from what I can remember, The Second Coming starts off with Videl, Goten, and Trunks searching for the Dragon Balls. Along the way, the Dragon Radar shows that another ball in the area is present, so they begin searching. They run into a priest who starts chanting a prayer to keep the village safe from a monster, which we find out is Broly later on, while attempting to offer a girl as a sacrifice so they can keep this thing, running. Trunks takes a stand and says that he'll take care of things, and in return, he wants the Dragon Ball that the priest has. So, Trunks, Goten, and Videl prepare a little trap for the monster. A hungry Goten goes and grabs an apple, gets slapped by Videl. Goten begins crying, which basically defrosts Broly since he's pissed off and he gets fucking night terrors and shit from what happened when he was younger. And later on, Broly is sent near, and while these guys are just partying, Goten and everybody's having a feast because they beat up this one monster who they thought was the one that, the priest was talking about. They sense Broly, and then Videl's the first one to rush off, and then they engage into a fight. Basically, everybody gets destroyed, but it's the thing about this that really disappoints me is that it's not really Broly's best. We know what Broly can do even when he's messing around. Somehow, Videl manages to get away without being, critically injured, and she's human. So that was a little bit disappointing, and they also made Broly seem like a joke. But anyways, I'll get more to that later on. Basically, throughout this whole fight, Gohan comes in later on when Broly takes care of everybody, and the fight ends with Goku, lending everybody a hand still with the family Kamehameha after Gohan pretty much, gets beat down badly. Now, Bio Broly had a different take on things. It focused more on Bio Warriors and Mr. Jaguar's plan to show how much of a fraud Hercule was. He had his Bio Warriors made, and he sent his cousin to bring Hercule, to him, to this small tournament that he was having. The Bio Warriors were easily defeated by Goten and Trunks, and they noticed that Broly was in one of the little chambers. So they both made an attempt to destroy him, but he sensed what was going on. After this, he breaks from it, and deadly fluid starts to leak from the place and eventually gets on him, which begins to slowly mutate him. The fight begins when he literally beats the hell out of everybody there. Basically, Broly would have won this fight if it wasn't for the fluid getting on him for the second time. This was easily the beginning of his end. The last shot he took was when he became really big and the water ended up turning him solid, but the fluid was still spreading across the island and it was a legit threat. They were saying this, this fluid can destroy the whole world if it gets spread out. Once everybody's seen that the only thing that can beat this fluid is the actual water, Goten, Trunks, and Krillin put everything to rest by giving the water a Kamehameha and started flooding things, and then the fluid, became pretty much nothing. But what I like the most about this movie is that there was no Goku or Gohan really doing anything to really help these guys. There was no help from anybody else who was way stronger than them. Android 18 was in the movie, Goten and Trunks, Krillin and Hercule, and Broly actually seemed more like a threat in this movie than in The Second Coming, which was strange. He took it to everybody there, and he had everybody literally battle damage. You see Trunks and Goten battle damage. Trunks was scared as hell when Bio Broly was coming towards him. It's a thing. All of this just to get revenge on Hercule, who had a small rivalry with Mr. Jaguar when they were younger. Shows how crazy people can get. The Second Coming really didn't show us much, just kids clowning around with Broly. He might as well have been babysitting the whole time. Someone write this guy up future Full House episodes when the twins have kids. Overall, I think Bio Broly rocks. It's not the best Dragon Ball Z movie of all time, but it's not the worst. I wouldn't really call any Dragon Ball Z movie the worst, but Second Coming is not my favorite, and it lacked way too much, and I felt that Bio Broly did things differently and more properly. But obviously, first, Broly movie takes the cake hands down when it comes to the three. But that's pretty much my opinion on that. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment, tell me what you think, and I'll see you next time on Ranting Ravens. It isn't that bad.